The Blitzboks at least did pick up a medal. I mean, considering the amount of sort of planning and work that was put into this Olympic campaign, and 15 players that were drafted into the 7 squad. So I guess South Africans can't be too disappointed. But yeah, I mean, we all sort of watched the semi-finals and final, and it did seem like the Blitzboks sort of wasted opportunities in that semi-final, and it could have, turned out more favourably.
Yes, I mean that certainly was sadly the crunch game, a very frustrating game to watch because it was so low scoring. You sort of thought, when is a gap suddenly going to appear? When is that crucial score going to come? And it really should have come to the Blitzbok. I mean, they actually dominated that game. I've revisited the game a couple of times, and the opportunities that South Africa wasted through wrong option taking or through unnecessary fumbles and things, and it just sort of summed up the fact that for the whole Sevens year. That team has really struggled to, when it's really mattered, to put a big performance together. As we know, they've reached several finals, a good handful or more of the finals on the World 7 Series, and only one of them, I think, this year, Garen. So I mean, it did give you some indication that they're always a very, very good side, but just not quite able to get over the line. And it was a relief that they did bank bronze in the end. I always believed it was going to happen because it was the classic South African scenario of sort of after the fact, they really came to the party and put 50 points on Japan in the bronze game, and pretty much wiped the floor with them. A very emphatic display. But
do you think there was a little bit of sort of revenge there for the Rugby World Cup performance last year?
Yes, maybe. I suppose there was a little bit of that, but by then I think most of our Sevens fans were thinking, if only, and that really was the sort of ultimate image we'll take away. I suppose we mustn't forget that Siabelo Senatla, who's been a massive factor for South Africa. I mean, I call him South Africa's striker in the Sevens side. His try scoring rate is such that he's almost like a sort of prolific Premiership striker, if you like. He's the guy who rounds off a lot of moves. He's the gas man out wide, the one who outstrips the opposition. We struggled for people who actually outstripped opponents in that game against Great Britain, who are quite a well-organised, fairly athletic sort of side themselves. And I think if Senatla had been there, there's every chance that South Africa might well have actually got across the chalk, and then of course got into that coveted gold game. I'm not certain they would have beaten Fiji.
Well, that was going to be my next question. I mean, had they made the final, I mean, Fiji just are
who knows?
Sort of a
we
league
have
ahead.
beaten them. We can beat them. We know on a really good day we can do it. But the Fijians, from start to finish of the tournament, looked as though they were in the right mindset, thoroughly focused. At times they played almost like an arrogant brand of sevens, which just tells you that they were so up for winning that gold.
The way they toyed with Japan.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the way they were just, really sort of languid moves that led to some of those tries. You just sort of sensed that was the team to beat. So I'm not saying we would have gone all the way. Perhaps we might have ended with silver. So bronze was roughly par, but I think a lot of us will still be always saying, what a pity they couldn't go a little bit better than that.